Clemson University is indebted to Black labor for its existence. And the history of that labor goes back to enslaved persons who worked on John C. Calhoun's plantation, the sharecroppers who labored for Thomas Green Clemson on Fort Hill during Reconstruction, the men and boys who built the university. They cleared the land, they made the bricks, they built the earliest buildings, some of which are still standing. The wage workers who came and labored as domestics and cooks and butchers and farm hands. Without them, there would be no Clemson. My work recovers their stories and I think restores them to their rightful place in Clemson history. Being the researcher that I am, I started looking, and for those of us who look at pre-Civil War history and literature, you have to go to the archive. I was talking to our archivist in special collections, and then finally someone said, why don't you contact the state archive? I got a response, and the archivist said, yes, we have registers with names, we have demographic information, we have penitentiary records, we have court records, we have records of pardons. We can tell you a lot about the convicts who built Clemson. I would go down the list, just name by name, looking up the prison numbers. I came to the name of Wade Foster. The next column told his occupation, he was a laborer. And then the next column was age. And I saw a number, and the number was 13. There were, some hardened criminals among the convicts who were sent to Clemson, who were convicted of murder and rape. But there were also many, in fact, most of them, had been convicted of some form of theft. They were stealing baby food, clothing. They were stealing grain and selling it, often to feed their families. These were men and boys caught up in a system that was designed to mimic slavery, to keep them in poverty, to keep them in oppressive states. And some of them ended up working at Clemson because they were a cheap form of labor. And this enabled our trustees to build this school for white males. And these young men like Wade couldn't attend the college that they built. His children, his grandchildren couldn't attend Clemson, but he was forced to build it. So we must honor him. We must call his name.